Oh God, what the fuck? Okay, I think that, hey guys, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna actually, I had a login problem into Facebook. I'll go live. Ready? Is this working? You are live. 1, go live. Okay, I think we are live. I was logged out of Facebook, guys. So let's just make sure I'm going live. Let's see. Oh gosh. If you guys can tell me if you can hear me, if you guys can hear me. And in my tribe, if you can let me know, there's 2 people. Hi guys, I was logged out of my Facebook, so I had to reset my password. And now I don't even know on my phone. It's totally logged me out. So am I live, guys? Am I in the Facebook tribe? Because that's my most important one. There's 5 people. Hi guys, I'm a little late because something happened with Facebook and I had to, you know, I'm so online everywhere that unfortunately people try to hack my account. So I was logged out of Facebook because I have very good protection. And can you guys let me know that I am live in the tribe? Who's ever watching and listening? I'm going to, hi. Let me just log in now. Not good on my phone. So I'm just gonna wait for a couple more minutes for people to come in. We are doing a live Sunday night, 6 p.m. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm just logging into my phone. I'm gonna be a few minutes late here. I'm focused on every Sunday at 6 p.m. to do a live in Facebook, as well as Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. And we'll see how that goes, at least for the month of August. You know, I'm always testing. Looks like I'm in, yay. I'm in, yay, I can see myself. Okay, good. Okay, perfect. So just a quick announcement. Again, my apologies, I'm late. Wow, it's 6:10 already. Sorry, the whole being locked out of Facebook. So tonight we are focusing on, is it possible to find true love after a divorce? Because I know when I left my husband, I would tell you 1000% that the answer is no way, impossible. That was for sure. By the way, again, guys, I'm using StreamYard. So any comments you feel free to put in here, but I will, you know, I won't be able to see your name because it is here on StreamYard. But I'll certainly be able to answer, and I can always go afterwards in Facebook to answer your questions. So let's go ahead and start deep. By the way, 7 p.m. Eastern tonight, I'm doing a Zoom support group. I added a 3rd one Sunday night in the evening. I think that might help a lot of us with kids and with work schedules, etc. So if you're interested, please join us. I think we already have like 5 or 6 women signed up. It's an amazing, intimate, you know, Zoom setup that you get to just really express and share kind of what's going on in your life, how your week was. the women start coming every week. So we start getting to know, like, how was your week? What happened with your ex? What happened with court? Or you went on a date? You kind of start getting involved in these women's lives that you've never met until now, but we're all in the same world. So it is really, really great. So today's subject is about finding true love, right? I guess, I know that when I left my husband after 20 years, the evidence I had was clearly that only predatory men existed. Finding true love was a fairy tale, a figment of my imagination, and I just couldn't believe it to be true. And I desperately wanted to, and I know a lot of you do too, even those that are in the middle of divorce and, still dealing with court and mediation and all that stuff. Deep down, you want a guy. Like, at the end of the day, this was one of the biggest reasons why I launched the tribe, because, marriage is because of love, right? There's a community and a commitment and a union and family and kids and all that, but the impetus of that is love. Because as human beings, hello, Terry in the house. Hi, gorgeous. So my shirt is a little low here, huh? Anyway, all cool. So I want love. Love is what makes the world go round. I'm very, very passionate about love. I'm a strong believer of love. To me, it is the universal language of the world, of energy, of animals, of pets, of trees, of everything. And love is understood in China. It's understood in India. It's understood everywhere. And I need love. We need love. We need love. We want love. And we absolutely are entitled to have it, to receive it, and to give it. We have it with children, we have it with family, and we absolutely should have it with a partner. So clearly a lot of us are so broken. I know when I left my husband, I was like, does it really exist? And I just wanted it so badly. I was like desperate. Like when I left my husband, I think you guys have seen me do this before. I was like this. I was so thirsty for love, right? I was so thirsty for love. And it showed. It showed because I was so thirsty. I wasn't just thirsty. I was literally like dehydrated for it. I was like, my mouth was parched, cracked lips, cracked tongue, or whatever you want to say. I was dying. That I would take, I think I did it a couple of weeks ago or one of my lives, I don't remember. I would take a drop. Like any form of love from a man at that point, especially right after my divorce, I would be like, flying over the moon. And that's exactly what's almost dangerous about dating so quickly right after divorce. Now, I'm not saying not to, and we're grown women here, guys. Don't forget, we are grown women. We are not 15 years old, 18 years old, 20 years old, falling in love with a fairy tale. We have experience in life at this point. So I'm not saying not to date. Some women will text me like, Revy, should I date? I just got a divorce. Date, like you're a grown woman. But here's the pivotal shift. You're so vulnerable. You're so dehydrated, and you so need the love so badly that you will accept a half of a crumb that's a week old, and you'll be over the moon. And that is a problem. That's a problem. So what happens? We are so starving for love, rightly so. Deep down, we really have a belief system that we don't deserve the love. Now, I know you're saying, I'm going to get a better man, and I'm going to date, and now I'm worth it, and I'm so amazing, and this and that. But I don't really care what you say. I don't even care what you do. I don't care. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you write in your journal. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And how do I know this? I'm strong. I make my own money. I'm an independent recruiter. I'm a doer. I'm a shaker. I ran the house. Like I did everything right. I don't even know what the heck my husband did. I made all the money and blah, blah, blah. And then the first man that I dated right in the middle of we just started breaking up. Me and my husband, he was still here, but we were already, of course, going through divorce, mediation, whatever, that I met a man that made my husband look like a pussycat. And I accepted it. Now, here I am saying I'm going to be, I'm worth it. And I'm so amazing. And I'm never going to meet a man like my husband again. And this and that. And then the first man I date, mind you, I really didn't even see it. It was only afterwards that I was really, even now when I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that was me. But it was me. I was crawling, grasping at anything just for a quarter of a crumb of breadcrumbs that was a week old. And this man, he would text me once a week and say, hey, you know, let's go out next week. And I'd be satiated. That's not acceptable. But it was acceptable to me at that time because I was so dehydrated that I would take anything. And these predatory men, boy, oh boy, do they smell vulnerable women. They just can see us. They're like that hyena, that vulture, you know, that's waiting for the little cute Bambi that hurt her leg, the little baby Bambi, because that's what we are. Any woman that's going through divorce or is divorced who's not really doing the right work into her mind, body, and soul will, I would say with 90% accuracy, repeat the same pattern. And how do I know that for a fact? I remember right when I left my husband, when I was in my crazy state of just collapse, disaster, couldn't get out of bed. I mean, couldn't work, couldn't make money, dating these horrible men. I just attracted these men that made me realize that the problem was me. And statistically speaking, I realized too, just to finish my other thought, I started realizing, you know, second marriages, the divorce rate is 75%. So first divorce rate is 50%, second marriage is 75%. That's a 50% increase. Not to mention it's a second marriage, and now it goes from 50% to 75%. That's a 25, that's half more of before. That's a red flag. That's a, let's stop and see what the hell is going on. And the reason I concluded was that I can't speak on behalf of the men because I'm not a man, but at least with the women, especially starting to go, you know, a lot of you guys know that one of the reasons why I did this is there was a beautiful, small, hidden divorce support group right here in Boca Raton where I live. And like I started meeting, of course I started reading, I've read a lot and I inhaled a lot of information and I'm extremely intuitive and now really 95% of the time totally go by my gut, something I ignored for a long time, which I will never do. But I truly have an intuition and a sense for these things. And I started noticing over and over again these second marriages. And I would always ask the question, well, how long were you divorced before you met the second guy? Many of them were still married. They hadn't even been divorced. Some women were in the middle of divorce, but their husbands was still living at home, sleeping in the same bed. Like, you don't get to go out and meet a man and marry him when you haven't even lived alone and slept in your king size bed alone. Like, that's a hell no. That's a hell no. Because if you're not going to face the demon of living alone and sleeping in a king size bed alone, and you're going to be so afraid of that incorrectly because those fears are completely false, but you're going to be so afraid of that, and instead you're going to latch onto a man so you'll never even have to deal with being alone. So all you're then doing is going from one fire pan to another, and the man looks different, acts different, behaves different, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, in here, he is the same. He is the same. Why is this man the same? And how many of these women then say he's an alcoholic, or he's also verbally abusive, or he, you know, was a gambler, or, you know, he was a bum and he ended up living on the couch and he didn't work. And he said he had all this money, but he really didn't. And I believed him. Like, that was the one guy that I also met. He told me, my God, the stories that he told me. And I didn't even doubt him for a second. I was so thirsty for any attention that the first man that saw me and he started giving me this whole song and dance, how rich he is, and he has this, and yeah, he had a fancy convertible and, you know, the fancy outfits and the clothes. He certainly looked the part. He was very handsome. He was very sexy. Man, oh man, did this guy play me like there's a thing in Hebrew called the sevivon. It's like this little dreidel for Hanukkah that we use, like in Hanukkah. I'm Jewish. That's what I was. I was his little dreidel. He would go to the right and I would go to the right. He would go to the left and I'd go to the left. And I couldn't stop it. I realized quickly into it because it was so rapid. And of course, I was madly crazy in love with him. Like, he was it. this man. Good sex. So thank God that was good. And I do highly recommend that, by the way. The sex was very, very, very good. So that was good. But my problem then, and this is what I'm so emphatic about, is that you cannot latch to a man for emotional intimacy. You cannot, especially in that state of pain, the state of your collapse, of your identity, of who you are as a woman, married with children, everything about your life is like 9/11. It's just gone. It's like it goes from 2 strong pillars to nothing. And you're in this state of confusion, stress, crazy, sadness, pain, anger, shock, overwhelm, like all these things, these real emotions, probably emotions for the first time that you're feeling. Because this whole time you kept suppressing your emotion. Suppress emotion. God forbid that a woman should be emotional. Damn right a woman's emotional. We are women who create life. Of course you should be emotional. Any man who tells a woman not to be emotional is a man that we should say goodbye to. Au contraire, when you are emotional and upset, the right man, the healthy man, the good man will be like, here's a glass of wine, here's a glass of water, come sit down, talk to me. What's going on? And many times all women want, what is it that we want? Lisa, Revy, your shirt matches perfectly with your oh, cute. Yes, you're right. Kind of funky. I didn't see Lisa. I was so involved in it. That's what the right man does. Because what does a woman really want at the end of the day? What does a woman really need from a man? Let's ask you guys this question. We've got around 11 people live right now. What truly does a woman really want in a relationship? Guys, anyone have input on that? I know there's like a little delay from me talking to you answering the question, so I'm going to wait for any responses coming in. What? Whoops, my phone just went on. What is it? I would love to find a man like that. Griselda, you absolutely can. I'm here to tell you that that's absolutely possible. That's absolutely possible. I have proof of that because I have a man like that right now in my life. Love and companionship. Yes, of course, Lisa, love and companionship. But when we have that love and companionship because we thought we had it with our husbands, right? We had a made up thing that we thought we had love and companionship. Very good. Lily Feingold. Guys, Lily actually was there when my husband and I first dated in San Diego. My God, it's so cool to see you. Respect. But what Lily's saying is exactly what it is, to be heard. So that's a very important need that a woman has. And there's one more. One more. Like, what's another one? What else does a woman? So that's really someone to listen to us. Again, to be heard. Exactly, Griselda. Love us in all our mess and in all our glory. Right. Which means no judgment. Don't judge me. Love me. This is me. It has to come from within, though. Right. So that's the second element of it. Not to complete. Right. So a couple of my students are in here from the program, so they're cheating because they already know some of the work that we've been doing. Yes, with a man, ultimately, Terry's right, is that we seek a man to complement us and not to complete us. So as Lily was saying, that we want a man we as a woman, we want to be heard, and we also want to be seen. Notice me, hear me. Because what are those 2 free things? This is not money, fancy jewelry, cars, diamonds, crap. What do those 2 things provide to a woman? What does that validate to a woman? When a man listens to her and sees her, notices her, what does that prove to, what does that show to the woman? Validates what in the woman? My students will know this answer. This is, to me, the core problem, by the way, in any relationship. Worth. Lisa said it right. It's worth. It validates my worth. See, when a man listens to me and a man hears me and sees me and sits down and talks to me with no judgment, but with love and kindness, and even better yet, support. What can I do to make it better? What do you need? Let me be the wind in your back and not the noose on your neck. Let me validate your feelings and not tell you that you're too emotional, that you're nagging and you're so annoying. When men start doing this with us, it's like slap and slap and slap. And a woman who's so vulnerable, sharing her pain or whatever's happening because we're expressing our feelings, when somebody slaps you like that, a woman who's needy for love, will go deeper and deeper into her corner. And she'll be like, he's right. Because that's what we do. And that stems from issues from our childhood, validating limiting beliefs. That's a whole other story. That we're perfect the way we are. Yeah, we are. But we'll talk about that too, Griselda. When I laugh to act silly, be myself, listen to get me. What is so about me with a supportive heart is the love. Yeah. So here's what happens when we're so dehydrated, because we're not seen and we're not heard. And that's always the reason why people ultimately break up in both relationships and marriages, is like, he didn't listen, he didn't hear, he didn't this, he didn't that. Sometimes, we have situations here in the group that there's infidelity. A man cheats on his wife. And that was not my experience, but my father, he was like bad. He disgusting what he did, how he cheated on my mom when we were super young. And I even remember seeing him. And then once they did divorce, he cheated on the women he was with. And he basically, forced me and my sister to, we called them woman number one, woman number two, woman number three. And he would force us to meet woman number two. And it was so gross. I still remember eating at the restaurant, knowing what my dad was doing. And it was this horrific experience that I was torn to my father's loyalty, of course, and acceptance because I'm his child. Yet I know what he's doing. Oops, I just realized that my phone, oh gosh, guys, hold on. I just realized my phone. Let me do decline. I forgot to do not. I know, right? I put you in such a cliffhanger and you're like, where did she go? Why did she stop? What kind of a dad is that? We want to hear more information about it, right? I know, it's unbelievable. Do not disturb. Oh, it is on. Okay, cool. So there's something wrong also when a man, now I'm not saying maybe the issue is you, but we always hear about, women always say there's red flags. So why don't we listen to the red flags, right? So even when there's infidelity, the infidelity usually doesn't start right away. Now, some women truly don't notice it. They don't notice it. Some women, it's truly a shock and a surprise. Again, it's not my experience, so I can't really be the one to truly give you my own personal experience. But I do see with what my dad did with those women is that the women had no idea. But I'll tell you what I did notice about the women. The women accepted crumbs from my dad. That was what I did notice. And that's what I noticed with me. And I believe a lot of us here in this tribe, we accept crumbs. And guess what, girlfriend? That ain't happening anymore. Hell no. Give me a hell no. Give me a hell no. There ain't no crumbs for this fearless woman. Come on. Hell no. This fearless woman ain't getting crumbs. I need the whole caboodle. I need the whole wide world. I need the universe. I need beyond the universe because I'm worth it. Hell no. Give me a hell no. That is just not happening, because the minute you accept those crumbs, what you do is you're saying the man is up here and guess where you are, girlfriend? You're right down here. And the more crumbs he gives you, the more you accept that. He's God, he's king, he's amazing. I don't want to rock the boat. Hell no. Hell no. Go Lisa, Lily Feingold, because women listen with hope. No, Lily, it is not because people listen with hope. It's because women don't have worth. That's the truth. You think you have worth, you act like you have worth, you're like, I'm the shiznik, but at the end of the day, you don't believe it. Because if you truly believed you had worth, why are you accepting crumbs? There's the big $1 million question. Hell no. Hell no is right. It is a decision that you make that you're not going to accept that anymore. And it only comes from one place and one place only, because you have to believe that you deserve the world. So the question is, do you? I realized that clearly I didn't. I'm like, okay, 20 years I was with this man that gave me crumbs. And then I go straight in bed from one, at least, don't get me wrong. Sex was very good. But it was like, I would wait 2 weeks. I would wait by the phone. Oh, he texted me, we'll be in touch next week. I was good for a week. No. You need a man to text you in the morning. You need a man to text you at night. You need a man to check in with you during the day. That is what you need. That's what a fearless woman demands. This is who I am. You're not texting me. You're not checking in with me. Bye. So why is a woman too afraid to do that? It's about us being queens, but it's about believing that we're a queen. If you don't believe it, you want to know what you believe, look at your life. That's what you believe. I talk a lot about this in my program. We're halfway through my program. We're entering week 4 this week. The Fearless Woman is this module. I'm doing the program again. I came up with a date, October 3rd, Saturday, and then we'll do also October 4th. We'll do it Saturday and Sunday, 2 p.m. for the live Zooms, and then the Facebook Live. I'll talk about it more at the end, or maybe another one. But you can already go and check out the fearlesswoman.co, the program, and get on the wait list. The fearlesswoman.co/the program. I'll talk about it more, but I'm going to be launching it in October. A woman at the end of the day who accepts crumbs is because she puts herself here and she puts the man up here. It's because she's validating her limiting belief that she's simply not good enough. She's not worth it. She's not, she's not deserving of it. And even though you know it's wrong, you still do it. You still do it. And the reason you do it is because it's a belief system that's so firmly ingrained in you that the fact of you even thinking that you deserve to actually be here, or even better, here. I teach here in the tribe specifically, I force you to go up here. I'm like, it's so acute, the pain and the recovering and the rebuilding. I force you to just be completely selfish. 1000%. You've earned it. Do it. Life circumstances. Sure, of course. We're not in control of our life, but we certainly can, choose how to handle it. Right? We can choose how to handle it. COVID happened. How do you handle it? He's not texting me. How to handle it? My friend hurt me. How do I handle it? How you handle it, that's what you can control. You can control the decisions you make, what you accept, what you don't accept. And what happened then with that boyfriend, that boyfriend, he called me his girlfriend, he even gave me the name of girlfriend. That was a joke. I mean, that ended fast, 6 weeks, 2 months, whatever. It didn't last too long. But that's when I hit the brakes. And I went deep, deep into my cocoon. That's why I talk about caterpillar, old Revy, old you, cocoon, the program and the tribe, hello, and then the butterfly is born. The real, beautiful, free-spirited, stunning, natural, effortless, limitless, confident, abundant, secure, whole, fearless woman is born. And you know what? It's actually so easy. You'll find that as hopefully, you allow me to brainwash you because you have proof that you're able to be brainwashed to realize that you have no worth, which is, by the way, such a bunch of baloney and so not true. But instead, we reprogram the brain to really understand our belief system and work on, providing evidence of success, of things that you've done, of worth, of love, or of positive things in your life. And you start seeing these things that I call blind spots. Your whole energy and aura will shift, that when a guy gives you a crumb, you're going to be like, hell no. Block. You don't even need to tell him. You don't need to tell him. Unless, of course, it's already a relationship that you're with him, then you can communicate some needs. But a guy right at the beginning, you're going to sit there and tell a man how to behave when he's a grown man? No, you just actually attracted another man-child. I'm sure a lot of us were married to men-child, man. Men-child, man. I don't know. They both sound good. You have a choice to still be the little girl with a temper tantrum. I want this. He should behave like that. Or you can just be a grown woman, be a fearless woman, make your own decisions by yourself, because you're absolutely capable of doing it, and move forward. Yes and no. It is only from this place of power, of rootedness, of worth, of understanding how friggin' fabulous you are, because you are fabulous. You are a beautiful woman who deserves the world, the love, the nourishment, the environment, the positive energy. Only when you start being that, not hoping, I'm going to get there. I will be there. Let's manifest. BS. Don't buy it. Not interested. You got to step into those shoes and just be it. Stop with the wishful thinking. Just do it. It's enough with the talking. Make a decision. No more. This is who I am. This is what I want. These are my needs. This is what I accept. This is what I don't accept. When you're able to own that fully and completely, man, oh man, watch the men line up. I shifted into such a degree that as I went through this shift and this focus, and the two elements that was so important in that is to not to be afraid to be alone. So many women are afraid of that, and it's not true. There's like 10 different lids to a pot. Guys, there's like so many men out there. You have to believe that there's men out there, good men. Just like Rima, I don't know if you noticed when I did the live on the fly announcement this morning, Rima, for the first time, thank you, said, you know, if I'm a good person, then I know she said, if I believe she said, I believe I'm a good person, which is very good, because you got to believe it. Like, you got to taste it. It's got to be in your blood. It's got to be in here. She's like, then I believe there's good men out there. I'm like, you are finally figuring it out. The problem is a lot of us don't believe it. And that's the big part of the program that I work on, is to really address those, because it's just not true. But if you're not going to the root of the why, see, I learned quickly with divorces being at 75% and like all these dysfunctional relationships and the drama and the chaos and all that, which I of course had, I'm like, why is that happening? So I figured that out. That's what I figured out. Now, you don't have to do all the work. Like, a lot of the things in my program are very hardcore, and you don't have to do that. But even just recognizing that a lot of those, what I call anchors, which are things that happened when we were little, they created our belief system, and they're simply not true. So now the work comes and really focusing on this MMI, and there's a lot of guilt. Like, even Rivka, who's a beautiful woman, she's in the program, I've actually known her personally, even said the other day, she goes, I stood up for myself and I felt so bad. I'm like, therein lies the problem. See, finding a good man is a piece of cake. There were some women that say it's not true. I'm telling you, I myself, the men kept getting better. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Huh? What? Like, they were so nice. They were good men. Some some they didn't like me, I don't know, whatever. And then I met a great man. And I wasn't 1000% perfect, but I certainly had boundaries. And there was something, when something wasn't right in that relationship, right away, I let him know, these are my needs. But by then we had been dating and we were intimate. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to tell him what I need. If he's not doing things that are acceptable to me and he's not willing to do something about it, then I'm breaking up with him. Imagine how strong, imagine this. Imagine when you get to be so strong in who you are as a woman that you can then date a great man, a good man, a man who is the wind in your back, who's so kind and gentle and is just wonderful. And he's still not meeting your needs and whatever it is that's important for you. And I will never, ever mitigate that for you within reason. You know, obviously, if you're, you know, depends what those are, but we're talking common sense here. And if he's not meeting those essential needs, I'm not talking about the fancy trip to Monaco or the, 10-carat diamond ring. If that's what you're needing, that's a whole other different discussion. I'm talking about basic needs: to be heard, to be seen, to spend time with, to validate you, to love and nurture you. Imagine breaking up with a man like that. I did. Imagine how secure you must be that even when a healthy man treats you well, you're willing to walk away. And that's when you know that you hit the jackpot. Not with a guy, but with yourself. It's with yourself. When we feel guilt and fear while we're doing it, we must face the fear. We have to get what we can with romance ourselves. So yes and no. It's a little hard to get romance with yourselves because you kind of need a partner. So, I hear you, I get you, I understand that. You have to fall in love with yourself. I think that's where and again, I apologize that I don't know who said that. The transformation, the cocoon, is when you fall in love with yourself. We're so needy for love that we latch onto a man. I encourage you, what time is it? 6:40. I have to go. I'm doing a 7 p.m. Zoom support group. By the way, 7 p.m., whoever wants to join the Zoom support group tonight at 7, please come. It's under fearlesswoman.co Zoom, $5. I won't talk as much. I do listen, but I don't talk as much. The cocoon phase isn't just about recovering, because you're like in PTSD, you're in shock, you're like, there's that short-term trauma. But when things do settle down, you got to fall in love with yourself. That's the romance. Oh, you'll be there, Lisa. Awesome. Yes, that's it. You have to fall in love with yourself. You have to discover yourself. You have to get to know yourself. The same way you do that with a man, I want you to do it with yourself. I almost say, like, go out and just have sex with the guys and meet men, not for the sake of latching onto the one, but to just say, I like what he did, but I didn't like what he did. Okay, next. Okay, I like what this guy did, and I like what he said, but I didn't like what he said. Okay, next. Women are so needy for love that the first man who texts you back and you want to date, you're like, he's the one. He is the one. Are you serious? Are you serious? As a grown woman, he's the one? No, not as a grown woman. Not as a grown woman. No. You're the one. As a grown woman, true self-actualization, true self-manifestation of your human evolvement as a human being is to recognize that you're the one. A man is just a part of your circle. He's a slice. But when you make the man the whole circle, you're in serious trouble. As evident in most of us here in our collapse of our marriages. Most women are like me, that we left the husband because it was emotional, verbal abuse. Some women really have physical abuse, awful. Sometimes I get these messages. I tell them, call the police. Like, I don't know anything about that stuff. It's horrible. But one woman she sent me literally 3, and I read every message, and I do try to respond. She just needed to get it out. She told me, I've never told anyone. This happened to her like 15 years ago with her husband, what he did to her. I can't even repeat it. It was so horrific. She's like, I never told anyone. She never told anyone. Wow. That's total abuse. And emotional and verbal abuse, emotional and verbal is abuse too. Like when somebody shoos you and tells you you're dumb, you're stupid, you're an idiot, you're worthless, and all this nonsense. It's not, oh, he's just kidding around. No, it's not. And by the way, we all know those are G-rated words. So you have to fight for you. And I know you can. I did. I fought very hard. And let me tell you, it was worth it. Like, I may feel badly and guilty about the divorce and what I did to my kids, and maybe a little bit just to the whole unit itself. I do feel guilty and I do feel badly because I'm human and a woman. But I have zero regret. Like, as a woman, you can own feeling guilty and you can own feeling bad because there was pain, the family and the kids. But do I regret it? Hell no. Griselda, yep, I made him my whole world. Wow. Major red flag. Did everything he wanted to in the hopes that he would fill my needs as well. It never happened. It never does. It never does. A man cannot validate your worth. Only you can do that. But you have to believe that you're worth it. And most of us don't. So the program that I work on and the transformation that I teach, empower, and inspire you is to recognize the root of that, because it's simply not true. And the awareness from the subconscious to the conscious already starts changing what you see and how you just be. Like Lisa said, I be. Like, you just got, this is who I am. Tia made a comment on a video. She goes, I will, I think it was, I forget exactly what she wrote, something about, I will be, that strong. I plan on being that strong, or I will be that strong, or something like that. I'm like, no, I am strong. See, that's why, with all due respect, I'm like, manifestations, writing it down. No, blah, blah. To me, it didn't work. I had to go into me and see this, have this conversation with my gut, have a conversation, because there was a total disconnect. And the minute you start doing that work, just that little shift, man, oh man, everything changes, because there are so many amazing men. And just use the proof that Rima brought up in the comment this morning. If I'm a good person, then I know there's good men out there. And I'm like, thank you, Lord. Yeah. The problem is that many of us, you know, we don't believe it because our evidence clearly states otherwise. And I remember when I dated, I'm like, I remember a friend of mine who was also going through divorce. She even once said to me, she goes, Revy, guess what? It was like 4 or 5 months into my divorce, after the divorce. She goes, Revy, guess what? I just spoke to Jane, and Jane told me that the man she's with, he told her he loved her. So it does exist. I'm like, wow. Like, we were both having coffee at Starbucks. This is pre-COVID, obviously. And we were like blown away that a man could be kind and gentle and nurturing and loving. And I remember she even said, she goes, he texts her in the morning. He texts her good night. Do you need anything? Can I bring you lunch to the office? And I'm like, what? Yes, and me not the writing it down. Yeah, that's not me. I'm not saying not to do it, guys. A lot of people do it. Listen, society has a lot of macro concepts of what needs to be done. I just basically noticed that it wasn't working, because 75% of second marriages get a divorce, and most women have still so much drama and chaos in their life. And I was right there. I was not going to have it. The man that I have right now in my life, I barely talk about. You know why I barely talk about him? Because he's not my life. He's not my life. He is a very important part of my life, but he's not my life. When you make a man your life, you're in trouble. That means you have lack. That means you validate your worth with a man. If my boyfriend and I were to break up right now, I'd be very disappointed. But I'd be so busy. I'm so into me that I also wouldn't take it personally. How about that? There's no ego. Meeting a right man, a good man, a healthy man involves no ego. And when they have ego, you need to recognize that it's on them and not on you. Oh, well, let me tell you what you did wrong. Well, let me tell you what you did wrong. Well, now you're being a 5-year-old temper tantrum little girl. A grown woman has, she's a grown woman. She's grounded. She's secure. She thinks. She doesn't react. She responds, if even. And that's how you meet a good, healthy man. Only and only when you're healthy. Here, emotional health is wealth. Emotional health is wealth. Guys, I'm going to start winding down because it's already 10 to 7. And at 7, we're doing the Zoom support group. If anyone, again, wants to join, it's fearlesswoman.co Zoom. So check it out. It's really cool. It's going to be now an hour and a half. It's supposed to be an hour, but we're never an hour. So we go to almost 90 minutes. There's amazing men out there, guys, but you have to set your standards, not by contorting or twisting to fit his world. When you start contorting and twisting to fit his world, then you have lack. Then you're not really being the authentic person of who you are. And you're going to know because you won't be happy. That, by the way, that's your biggest clue. It's your clue. You won't be happy. And the worst part is you'll start saying, I better not put pressure on him, because if I put pressure on him because I need X, Y, and Z, he might leave. So now, even worse, you lower your feelings and your standards more because you're afraid to lose something you don't even have. You don't have it. I thought I had a boyfriend. Give me a break. I was his dreidel. Twist to the right, twist, whatever you wanted. I'm like, oh, you want me to do 3/4? You want me to do a half? And I would never, ever complain because I was so afraid if I did, he would just dump me on the spot. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not losing him. He's my life. Wow. It's terrible. Terrible. I snapped out of it pretty fast, thank God. But more pain, more pain. Why do we want to do that to ourselves? We've been through enough pain. I mean, choose to not have that pain. And the way you choose by not having pain is by really, raising your standards. Now, a man can raise his standards if he wants to be with you. But if you're up here and he's here, you're not going to see that man. But if for whatever reason you're still down here and you're attracting this man and you want to go up, but you're not, like, you're afraid to, all you're doing is going right back down to him. And then you're not really growing. Yes. Not writing it down. That's the same comment. All right, guys. So we're going to be done there. So I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can find true love. It is real. It exists. Not just that. There's amazing men out there, all types. Be open-minded for sure. Yes, they have baggage, but so do you. So do you. So do I. I have baggage. You have baggage. He has baggage. But you make compromises in that, because of course second time around is much harder, because now we have kids and we still have an ex. Some of us, that we have to deal with more than others. My kids are already 18 and 21. I very rarely deal with my ex now, but when they were smaller, we dealt with each other a lot. So there is that drama, but you decide. He doesn't decide. You decide. If you start compromising to what's good for him, all you're doing is you're going right down to him. You're just going right down to him. Because the right man, if you feel safe to tell him what's going on, and he's the right man, he'll snap out of it real fast. Funnily enough, even today, this morning, my boyfriend wanted to, it was late, and I'm like, he had a huge proposal. He has to do this big hotel that he's working on, huge. The deadline is tomorrow morning. He's working on it. And I even said, I go, come with me, let's go get some Starbucks coffee. And I have a quote in the tribe that I said, don't follow the lips, follow the legs. So he said, oh, Revi, he goes, but this was funny. He's getting up and walking to the closet to get dressed. And he goes, oh, Revi, it's a little stressful because I have this proposal to do. But before you know it, he got the dress on, got the key, and he goes, let's go. See, I don't care what you say. I care and I was observing him. And I even said, you know what, I'm going to talk about that tonight in my live. Because, see, most men say, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, I'm going to take you away, and we'll go away for the weekend, and you're so special. And they say all these things, but they don't do anything. They don't do it. So it's not follow the lips, follow the legs. Look at their actions. That's all you need as proof if they're a good man or not. And when you start making excuses, you're just going to yourself, this is me. When you start making excuses for their poor behavior because you got hurt in some way, shape, or form, you're basically coming in from a point of lack because you're afraid of losing him, but you never had him to begin with. Here's the last tip I'm going to tell you when it comes to dating and men, especially second time around. For some of us, we haven't dated in 20 years. That was my story. 20 years I didn't date. I mean, I was like my husband was the third man I was with my whole life. When a guy likes you, you'll know it. When a guy doesn't like you, you will be very confused. I'm telling you, it's that simple. When a guy likes you, you will know it. And when a guy doesn't like you, you'll be confused. I know with that guy right after my husband, I was like, does he like me? Does he not like me? What does this text mean? I would read his little text and I would dissect. Well, he said yes. He could have said maybe. Well, he said should, but he could have said could. Like, that's what you do for 2 hours. You're dissecting the friggin' text he sent to you. That's not what a fearless woman does. That means everything that you went through in your marriage and divorce was for naught, was for nothing. And you will, God forbid, end up in that 75% statistic. And I believe the other 25%, they don't do it. The second marriage is because it's either too expensive or they just don't want to go through that hell again. I honestly believe that people who get married and get into bed with a man within a couple of years, or perhaps even not a couple of years, maybe they don't really do the right work. This takes work. At the very least, realize that you were accountable, that it had also to do with you. When you feel badly to stand up for yourself, or you feel badly to honor yourself, or to say no to somebody, that's a major clue that something's wrong. Something's wrong. You shouldn't feel badly about yourself for putting yourself first. So because you feel badly about it, you gotta work on that. Certainly always putting yourself first. Like, you just get comfortable with that sensation, right? You get comfortable with that sensation because that's major reprogramming. But the question is why? That's what I did. I figured out the why. I know why you feel badly. I know why you feel, I mean, obviously it comes down to worth, but why? Why do I feel like I don't have worth? I was very curious about that and I figured it out. And now, man, hell no, hell no, hell no. I walk into a room and that room is mine. I walk into a meeting, the meeting is mine. It's just who I am. I show up. I am. I don't wait. I'm not going to get there. I'll get there. I'll get there. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. That's lack. That's fear. You got to do it now. And if something's not right, you either fix it or you drop it. You're not going to put up with somebody making you feel bad. You either say, this is not working for me. This is what I need for us to, what do we think? Let's do it. And if that person's not capable of doing it, get out. And if you are willing to tolerate that, that's on you. Are you really learning? I am not feeling, Revy, you're amazing. Thank you, Lisa, my love. Oh my God, it's 6:56. Okay, I gotta go because in 3 minutes we're going on a Zoom. Okay, guys, I have a dating blueprint on my website, fearlesswoman.co. You can just go to free resources and tools or something like that on my website. There's a dating blueprint. If you guys want, you can check it out. And in my program, Module 6 is all about dating and love. I may even just do a module, a program just on dating and love. I think that might be good for a lot of women because the other stuff is very intense. So I may actually end up splitting it up. But October 3rd is going to be the next launch of the next program. Okay, guys? Email me, message me if you have any questions. If you want to do an exploratory call with me to see, to learn more about the program. I am already taking people. I already have 2 people that signed up for October. So I'm already accepting applicants. Let me make sure there's anyone else. No, we are good. I will see, Monday, 12 noon Zoom, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Zoom. And I'll do a live also on Wednesday, 2 o'clock if everything goes well. Ciao, guys.